A parasite is taking over your brain. Now, I know that sounds extreme, but if you ever sworn you'd quit an addiction only to relapse again and again, that wasn't your choosing. That was the parasite. The parasite doesn't shout, it whispers, it rationalizes. It makes sure you give in over and over. And today, I'll show you how it works, why willpower always fails, and how you can reprogram your brain so the parasite finally loses control. Every addiction, whether it's PMO, gaming, junk food, or endless doom scrolling, works the same way. Over years of engaging with the behavior, your brain gets wired. And that wiring creates a parasite. And the parasite has one mission: to stay alive. It knows you want to stop. It knows that you see the damages of your addictions, but it whispers lies to keep you hooked. And that's why a relapse doesn't mean that you're weak. It means that the parasite is running the show. Now, let me explain. We all know that when you indulge in your addiction, your brain gets flooded with dopamine. Way more than normal life ever gives. So your brain interprets this as survival level important. It wires in that this is life or death. But here's the trap. After the spike, dopamine doesn't return to normal, it crashes way below baseline. That's why you feel empty, anxious, and unmotivated. So your brain scrambles for the fastest way back up, return to the addiction. So that is the loop. It builds the spike, crash, craving over and over, and with each loop, the parasite grows stronger. But dopamine is only half the trap. The parasite has another weapon: lies. The parasite, it doesn't come with claws or fangs. It comes with words. It whispers things like, just one more time won't hurt, or we've already failed, so why not just binge? Or you'll make it up tomorrow, just relapse now and you know what? Tomorrow we'll get right back on track. And here's the scary part. It sounds exactly like your own voice. That's why relapses feel like betrayal. You think you're deciding, but the parasite is deciding for you. And if you try to fight back with willpower, the parasite just gets stronger. Most advice is to distract yourself. Avoid triggers, use willpower, but here's the truth. If your brain still believes that addiction is valuable, then forcing yourself not to do it just makes it forbidden fruit. I mean, think about it. The moment you say, I can't have this, the craving doubles. Now you've split into two. One side wants it, and the other one forbids it. That inner war feels painful, and the parasite feeds on that pain. It waits until you're worn down, then it whispers its lies. That's why white knuckling only works for some days, weeks, or months. In the end, you snap, and the parasite survives yet another day. Now, I know this cycle because I lived it. For more than 10 years, I was addicted to PMO, and like many of you, I tried everything. Gym, meditation, cold showers, finding purpose, and working on my goals daily. And sure, those things helped, but nothing stuck long term. No matter how hard I tried, I always relapsed. And every relapse, I'd blame myself. I didn't meditate hard enough today. Oh, I'm relapsed because I ate sugar and that makes me lethargic, so can't have sugar anymore. So I would double down, push harder, and add more habits. But I still relapsed in the end. It became this toxic cycle. Productivity instead of recovery, tiredness instead of freedom. But then the truth hit me one day. My brain wasn't broken, it was conditioned. My operating system had been rewired by years of addiction, and every time an urge hit, it glitched. So I decided to treat urges differently. Every urge was data. I'd write down the time, the trigger, the intensity, and then I'd give the urge a voice. I called it the parasite. I wrote down exactly what it said. Things like, this relapse will motivate you tomorrow, it will reset your streak, so it will make you productive again. Lies. And then I would write down the truth. The truth was that a relapse never helped. It always led to regret, exhaustion, and more urges. What actually helped was rest, water, fresh air, and just moving my body. At first, it felt strange, but something shifted. Urges weren't proof of failure anymore or something that I needed to fear. They were opportunities. Every urge became a rep, and with each rep, the parasite lost power. That's how the Accountabilio Method was born. So here's the method I built out of my own recovery. It's a simple 4-step framework that's already helped hundreds of guys break free from their addictions. The steps are disrupt, unwire, rewire, and hardwire. Step 1. Disrupt. The parasite thrives on autopilot. The urge hits you, you rationalize, and before you know it, you relapse. Disrupt means breaking the loop in the very first moment. As soon as the urge shows up, you stop and you record it. You note down the time, the trigger, how strong it feels, and by doing that you create space between you and the parasite. And for the first time, you're observing the program instead of running from it. Step 2, unwire. Now you shine light on the parasite lies. Write down the exact thoughts that pop up. One more time won't hurt, you'll make up for it tomorrow, this will motivate you to be productive. These lies only stay powerful when they hide in your head, but once you see them on paper, you realize that they're not you. That's the parasite's voice. Step 3 is rewire. This is where you take back control. Write down the truth. And the truth is that a relapse never helps, that it only brings regret, exhaustion, and more urges. And then write down the truth about freedom. How choosing controls brings energy, confidence, and clarity. This step replaces the parasite lies with your own voice, which is the real you. Step 4 is hardwire. And finally, repetition. Every urge is a rep. Every time you disrupt, unwire, and rewire, you strengthen the new pathway. Over weeks and months, this becomes your brain's default. The old cycle, urge, rationalize, relapse, it gets replaced with a new one. Urge, awareness, freedom. That's the moment the parasite loses its grip. And here's the shift. Not indulging doesn't feel like sacrifice anymore. It feels like you're gaining something better. That's real freedom. And listen up, guys. For years, guys like us had no guide, no framework, no school for breaking free from addiction. We were left to figure it out on our own with white-knuckling advice, cold showers, distraction hacks, and still, relapse after relapse happened, and we were just left there all alone and crushed. That's why I took the system I built for myself and turned it into something anyone can use. Now, you don't need me, and you don't need the app or the website. You can take this method and start the day with nothing but a pen and paper, as long as you use the disrupt, unwire, rewire, and hardwire framework, and you're disciplined enough, then that's good. But if you're sick of relapsing and you just want to get on the right track right away, then that's exactly why I built Accountabilio. Inside, the whole framework is laid out step by step. Every urge becomes a rep, and every rep rewires your brain. Now, you probably expect that this costs a couple $100 or maybe even a couple $1,000, but I wanted to make it accessible for everyone. That's why you can just start off with a 7-day free trial, and after that, it's just a few dollars a month. The earlier you join, the lower the price, because it will go up the more members come in and I add more functions. And for the next 50 people who subscribe, I'm including a free one-on-one call where we can get to know each other, and we'll break down your situation, expose the parasite lies, and build your own personal game plan for freedom. So whether you start with a notebook or with the app, don't wait. Every urge you feel from this moment forward can either feed the parasite or rewire your brain. The choice is yours.